Today, with a soul full of faith and a heart open to grace, we gather to ask for the powerful help of Saint Anthony of Padua, the miracle worker. Known throughout the world as the saint who finds what is lost, whether it be objects, peace of mind, or even love, Saint Anthony stands as a compassionate friend and a swift intercessor before God. In moments of distress, when human solutions seem exhausted and the weight of the problem overwhelms the heart, his presence becomes a beacon of hope and divine providence. If you believe in the power of prayer that transforms and moves mountains, I invite you to join in this fervent time of devotion with the certainty that no request is too difficult for heaven when Saint Anthony takes it into his blessed hands. He brings light where there is darkness, direction where there is confusion, and comfort where there is pain. Whether you face urgent needs, financial burdens, family tensions, health crises, or spiritual battles, know that he listens to the cry of every heart that calls upon him with sincerity. As a sign of your faith, write in the comments, "Saint Anthony, bring my urgent miracle today." Your words may become a seed of faith in someone else's life. Thank you for being here. Your presence in this prayer is a bridge between earth and heaven. When we pray together, the power of faith multiplies, and miracles become possible through the intercession of Saint Anthony of Padua. If you are not yet part of our community, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. In doing so, we spread this special devotion and bring comfort to more hearts in need. Share this video with your loved ones on social media and WhatsApp. It may be the instrument of blessing someone desperately needs today. Now, with a willing soul and a serene spirit, let us begin together. O glorious Saint Anthony of Padua, blessed servant of God and tireless intercessor of the afflicted, today I lift up my voice with urgency, because I need a miracle that only heaven can provide. In the silence of my soul, I know that the power of human effort is not enough, that the limits of earthly strength have been reached, and that the burden I carry is far too heavy for me to bear alone. That is why I turn to you, Saint Anthony, the wonder worker, the friend of those who cry out in despair, the saint who has brought light into the deepest shadows of human pain. I invoke your holy presence now, asking you to incline your ear to my pleading heart, and to intercede before God Almighty so that His mercy may reach me without delay. Through the centuries, the faithful have proclaimed your name with reverence because countless miracles have been performed through your intercession. From the smallest of needs to the most urgent of impossibilities, you have stood beside those who trusted in you with a heart full of hope. Your name has become a refuge for those who are lost, a comfort for the abandoned, and a safe harbor for those whose prayers seemed to vanish into the void. That is why today I call upon you with confidence. I know you are near, I know you hear me, and I know that when you lift my request before the throne of God, something shifts in heaven and grace flows down like rivers of living water. My spirit clings to this truth, and though my hands may tremble in weakness, my faith refuses to give up. Saint Anthony, miracle worker of Padua, I remember the stories told of your compassionate heart, of how you would defend the poor, protect the vulnerable, and remind the world of God's infinite love. You did not turn away from suffering. Instead, you embraced the cries of those in despair as if they were your own. Today I stand among those who need you most, with my urgent need pressing on my chest like a weight that steals my breath. I beg you, look upon this plea not as something small, not as something insignificant, but as a cry that pierces the heavens and seeks divine relief. The urgency of my soul cannot wait, and I believe in the power of your intercession to bring forth immediate help. With reverence and trembling hope, I ask that you take my petition in your blessed hands and carry it before the Lord, who with one word can change everything. You know, Saint Anthony, the human heart better than most, because in your life you consoled so many broken spirits. You know the desperation that comes when there seems to be no solution. You know the tears that fall at night when no one else is watching. You know the anxiety that gnaws at the soul when uncertainty rules every thought. And because you have compassion, because you never cease to care for those who seek you, I dare to place my urgent need in your keeping. Beloved Saint, there are moments when it feels as if heaven is silent, when the answers I long for seem delayed, and when doubt tries to enter the fragile doors of my faith. In those moments I remember you. I remember how many times you have shown yourself faithful, how many prayers have been answered through your intercession, and how the world continues to call you the Saint of Miracles because you truly bring heaven's response into our earthly struggles. You are a bridge between human frailty and divine strength, and I need you to be that bridge for me today. Take my hand, lead me across the river of fear, and place me firmly on the shore of God's peace and provision. In my desperation, I confess that I have no other refuge as sure as you. Friends may abandon me, family may not understand me, and the world may turn its back on me, but you, Saint Anthony, have never rejected those who seek you. Your presence is like a light that does not fade, a fire that does not die, and a protection that never weakens. I cling to you now, believing that even in this moment, you are already interceding, already pleading my cause before the throne of God, already moving the heavens in my favor. My heart cannot see the answer yet, but my spirit knows it is on the way, because where Saint Anthony walks, miracles follow. Hear me, holy friend of Jesus, and let the urgency of my need be transformed into testimony of God's glory. Let my prayer rise like incense, sweet and strong before the Almighty, and let your voice join mine so that my cry may echo louder in the courts of heaven. May my request not be delayed, but instead be met with the swiftness of divine mercy. Grant that in this time of despair, I may encounter the joy of answered prayer, the peace of God's provision, and the renewal of my faith through the grace that flows from the Eternal One. And as you help me in my need, teach me also to remain faithful, to remain hopeful, and to always remember that no moment of prayer is ever wasted when it is lifted with sincerity and love. O Saint Anthony of Padua, miracle worker and beloved servant of Christ, I entrust this urgent need to you. Hold it close, protect it, present it, and may the heavens respond with power. May I never cease to proclaim the greatness of God who works wonders through his saints. And may I, in time, return with gratitude, not only for the miracle I seek today, but for the faith that was strengthened as I waited. I bless your name, I honor your mission, and I trust in your intercession. Blessed Saint Anthony, radiant beacon of divine mercy, my heart calls out to you once more with a fervor that words can hardly contain. In the face of impossibility, I bring my prayer to you because you are known as the saint who moves swiftly when hope seems gone. There is no wall too high, no chain too strong, no shadow too dark when your intercession is at work. In my moment of weakness and fear, I find strength in the certainty that you have never abandoned those who turn to you with trust. You who held the gospel in your heart and lived it with passion, who carried the light of Christ into every place of sorrow, continue even now to bring that same light into the lives of those who seek your help. Today I need that light to shine on me with urgency. I do not come to you with empty words, but with a soul that trembles under the weight of its need. Every breath I take feels heavy with worry, every thought is clouded with uncertainty, and my spirit feels as though it stands on the edge of despair. But in that fragile place I remember you, Saint Anthony, and suddenly my soul finds courage. I recall the countless testimonies of those who were lost and found, those who were broken and healed, those who were drowning in despair and lifted up by your prayers. And I whisper to my own heart, if Saint Anthony interceded for them, he will intercede for me too. That conviction becomes my anchor, holding me steady in the storm, reminding me that no prayer lifted in faith is ever forgotten in heaven. Saint Anthony, friend of the poor and defender of the hopeless, I lift to you not only my request but also my fears, my doubts, and the restless ache of my heart. You see, it is not just the miracle I ask for, it is also the peace that comes with knowing I am not alone. Walk beside me in this journey of faith, strengthen me when I am weary, and remind me that even when I cannot see the answer yet, heaven is already moving in my favor. In the silence of prayer, I place my urgent need into your blessed hands. Let your intercession transform my cry into a melody that delights the heart of God, and let His mercy flow upon me in abundance. You, Saint Anthony, who are called the finder of the lost, are more than a saint who recovers what slips away. You are a restorer of hope, a guardian of the weary, and a channel of divine love. There are times when I feel as though I have lost more than possessions. I feel as though I have lost direction, lost strength, lost clarity, and even lost myself. But through you, I believe that all which has been lost can be restored, renewed, and made whole again. Guide me then into that restoration. If I have lost my peace, help me find it again. If I have lost courage, breathe new strength into me. If I have lost joy, lead me back to the fountain of divine gladness. And above all, if I have lost my trust in God's timing, help me regain it through your tender intercession. When I think of the greatness of your miracles, I am reminded that heaven is never too far from those who believe. The lame walked, the sick were healed, the distressed were comforted, and the broken-hearted found peace through your prayers. Such wonders remind me that even now my urgent plea can be heard, and that what feels impossible on earth is but a small matter for heaven. My soul lifts with hope as I remember these truths. It is as though your very presence whispers to me, "Do not be afraid, for God is near." In that whisper, I find my strength again, and I dare to believe that my impossible request will not remain unanswered. I admit, Saint Anthony, that there are moments when fear overwhelms me. Nights when I lie awake, replaying my worries over and over, unable to silence the noise in my mind. In those restless hours, I ask you to be near me. Sit beside me in the silence of my weakness, calm my heart with your prayers, and let your gentle presence remind me that I am under heaven's gaze. Replace my fears with faith, my tears with trust, and my despair with the certainty that God's hand is at work even now, shaping an answer beyond anything I could imagine. Holy Intercessor, I not only place my petition in your care but also entrust my entire being to your guidance. Help me to remain patient while waiting for the miracle, because the waiting often feels heavier than the request itself. In patience, let me discover peace. In endurance, let me find wisdom. And in trust, let me learn that miracles are not just the answers we receive, but also the transformation that happens within us as we believe. May my faith grow stronger through this trial. May my hope shine brighter in the darkness. And may my heart remain open to the will of God, who loves me beyond measure. Saint Anthony, as I continue to carry this urgent need, I ask that you hold me close in your prayers. Let every beat of my heart be a silent cry lifted to heaven, accompanied by your holy intercession. When I am weak, be my strength. When I am confused, be my clarity. When I am overwhelmed, be my calm. And when I am close to surrendering in despair, be the voice that reminds me to hold on just a little longer, because God's answer is coming. Through you, I place my confidence in divine mercy, and through you, I expect to see the miracle unfold. Beloved Saint Anthony of Padua, I close this part of my prayer with gratitude even before the miracle is granted. Gratitude because I know you are listening. Gratitude because I know you are interceding. Gratitude because I know that heaven's love is greater than my fear. With every word I speak, I feel closer to peace, closer to hope, closer to the miracle I need so urgently. And when it comes, I will not keep silent. I will proclaim with joy that God is faithful, and that Saint Anthony of Padua, his faithful servant, once again became the channel of heaven's blessing in my life. Saint Anthony, mighty servant of God, in this hour of urgent need I call upon you with a faith that refuses to remain silent. My heart beats with expectation, my spirit rises with determination, and my soul clings to the truth that nothing is impossible when heaven's power is at work. I know you are a saint of swift miracles, a protector of the desperate, and a friend to all who carry heavy burdens. That is why I dare to lift my voice with confidence, for I believe that through your intercession, even the most immovable mountains can be cast into the sea. Today I need that miracle-working power more than ever. Hope is not a faint whisper within me, it is the fire that keeps me moving forward, even when circumstances scream defeat. I choose to believe, Saint Anthony, that the miracle I seek is already in motion, that heaven is already shifting things in my favor, and that my prayer is not falling on deaf ears but echoing in the throne room of God. You who have been called upon through generations, who have never failed those who place their trust in you, stand now beside me as a pillar of strength. With you near, fear loses its grip, doubt weakens, and despair vanishes like smoke in the wind. The miracle I ask for is urgent, but I know urgency is not too great for the God you serve. What is impossible to human effort is only an opportunity for heaven to reveal its glory. You, Saint Anthony, witnessed the greatness of God's hand in your own life, and you carried that power to others in need. That same power I ask to touch me today. Let my request be carried on the wings of faith, rising higher than my fears, stronger than my doubts, and more enduring than my anxieties. Let this prayer be a declaration that I will not surrender, because heaven is already at work. There are moments when my mind wants to believe the lie that it cannot happen, that the miracle is too far away, that the answer will never come. But in those very moments I remember you, Saint Anthony, and I lift my voice louder. I remind my soul that faith is not silent in the face of impossibility. Faith shouts, faith declares, faith insists that God is able. And so I join my prayer with your holy intercession, and together we proclaim that this urgent request will be met, that this closed door will be opened, that this heavy burden will be lifted. Saint Anthony, you are not only the finder of what is lost but also the restorer of what has been broken. Restore my faith where it has been weakened. Restore my courage where fear has stolen it. Restore my joy where sorrow has taken root. And restore my hope where despair tried to settle. Through your intercession, I believe I will see restoration, renewal, and rebirth in every area of my life touched by this urgent need. The God who created the heavens and the earth is the same God who answers through your prayers, and I trust that His power is being released even now. I do not pray in vain because I know faith has a voice that heaven responds to. This prayer, Saint Anthony, is more than words, it is my heart poured out, my trust laid bare, and my soul crying with urgency. And I know you, compassionate friend of the suffering, will not let my cry go unanswered. Already I sense the atmosphere shifting. Already I feel peace where there was unrest, hope where there was despair, and courage where there was fear. That is the sign that you are near, that heaven has heard, and that the miracle is on its way. Grant me, holy intercessor, the perseverance to remain steadfast until the answer comes. Let my faith not waver with passing time but grow stronger, deeper, and more rooted in trust. Teach me that the waiting is not wasted, that every prayer uttered is a step closer to the breakthrough, and that miracles often arrive at the moment when hope seems almost gone, so that the glory belongs fully to God. Let me live in that expectation, breathing in hope, exhaling faith, and refusing to surrender to despair. Saint Anthony of Padua, you who are known as the Saint of Miracles, I entrust this urgent matter to your care once more. Carry it before the throne of God with the urgency that my heart feels. Speak on my behalf, plead for me, intercede for me, and let heaven's mercy pour out over my life in a way so clear, so undeniable, that I will never forget this moment of grace. And when the miracle comes, I promise to lift your name in gratitude, to share the testimony of what God has done through your intercession, and to encourage others to place their trust in you, the faithful servant of Christ. Gentle Saint Anthony, bearer of God's love and messenger of divine compassion, I come to you now with a heart ready to surrender. I have carried this burden for so long, clinging to it with trembling hands, but today I choose to release it into your keeping. No longer do I want to hold my worry as though it depended on me alone, for I know that in the hands of heaven there is a wisdom greater than mine, a mercy deeper than my need, and a strength far beyond what I can summon. You Saint Anthony, who trusted God completely in your life, teach me now to trust with the same simplicity and courage. There is peace in letting go, though my human nature resists it. My mind insists on control, on solutions, on finding a way forward with my own strength. Yet again and again I am brought to the truth that I cannot do this alone. The miracle I seek is beyond my power, beyond my ability, beyond my control. And so I place it entirely in your blessed care. Take it from me, Saint Anthony, and carry it to the feet of Jesus, who loves me beyond measure. Let my surrender not be a sign of weakness, but a declaration of faith that I believe God's way is higher, God's timing is perfect, and God's mercy never fails. You know, holy intercessor, how heavy the human heart can become when weighed down with worry. You know the endless nights of sleeplessness, the tears that cannot be spoken, the fears that gnaw at the soul in silence. I confess to you my weariness. I confess that I am tired of holding this alone. And in that confession I find freedom, because I am not meant to carry it anymore. I am meant to place it in hands stronger than mine, yours, Saint Anthony, who so faithfully delivers prayers to the throne of God. Take this burden, lift it from me, and let my spirit finally rest. In this surrender I do not give up hope, rather I cling to it more deeply. For surrender does not mean despair, it means trust. It means saying, I cannot, but God can. I do not see the way, but God has already prepared it. I do not know when, but God's timing is perfect. And so with childlike faith I choose to let go. Into your intercession I place every detail, every longing, every anxious thought. Let nothing be hidden, let nothing be withheld. All of it I release, because I trust that heaven can do more with my surrender than I ever could with my control. Saint Anthony, friend of those who suffer, fill my heart now with the peace that comes from this holy abandonment. Let your presence quiet the storm within me, reminding me that once I have placed my prayer in your hands, it is no longer mine to worry over, but heaven's to resolve. Teach me to live in this peace day by day, to wake in the morning with gratitude instead of anxiety, to rest at night with faith instead of fear. Let my soul become a sanctuary of trust, where doubt has no place and despair cannot enter. I know that surrender does not erase the urgency of my need, it only changes how I carry it. No longer do I bear it as a crushing weight, but as a sacred offering lifted to God through your intercession. In this act of letting go I feel lighter already. I feel as though chains are falling, as though shadows are lifting, as though a door is opening that I could never have opened on my own. That is the mystery of faith. In giving up I gain. In releasing I receive. In surrendering I am set free. Beloved Saint Anthony, I thank you even now for the miracle that is to come. I may not see it yet, but my surrender allows me to trust that it is already unfolding in ways I cannot comprehend. Let my gratitude rise before the miracle appears, as a sign of my confidence in God's faithfulness and your unfailing intercession. I bless this moment of prayer, for it has changed me from the inside out. Where I once held fear, I now hold faith. Where I once clung in desperation, I now open my hands in release. And in that release I am renewed. So I leave my urgent request with you, Saint Anthony of Padua. Guard it, present it, and let it blossom into the answer heaven has prepared. And while I wait, teach me the beauty of trust, the peace of surrender, and the joy of believing even when I cannot yet see. My heart is yours, my need is yours, and my faith is yours to guide. In your holy care I rest at last. Saint Anthony, beloved wonder-worker and friend of souls in distress, today I raise my voice not only to ask but to give thanks. My heart is full of gratitude even before I see the miracle, because I believe with unshakable faith that heaven has already set in motion the answer to my prayer. Gratitude is the fragrance of trust, and I offer it to you now with sincerity, knowing that the God you serve never abandons his children. With every word of thanks, I declare that my spirit is certain, my faith is alive, and my hope is unbreakable. How could I not give thanks, Saint Anthony, when your intercession has lifted countless burdens throughout the ages? The testimonies of miracles fill the world with light, reminding us that God works wonders through his faithful servants. I join my voice with all who have already received blessings through you, and I proclaim that I too will testify of the mercy of heaven. I thank you because you have already carried my urgent plea to God's heart. I thank you because I know you are interceding at this very moment. I thank you because every second that passes brings me closer to the miracle that is on its way. Thanksgiving transforms my waiting into joy. Instead of trembling with worry, I choose to rejoice in anticipation. Instead of counting the hours with anxiety, I count them with hope. Gratitude shifts my perspective from despair to expectation, from fear to peace, from doubt to confidence. And in this act of thanking even before receiving, I discover the secret of faith, that believing is already possessing, and trusting is already living in the fulfillment of God's promises. Saint Anthony, my gratitude extends beyond the miracle itself. It reaches into every corner of my life where your intercession brings light. I thank you for the peace that surrounds me as I pray. I thank you for the courage that rises within me when fear tries to attack. I thank you for the clarity that comes when confusion clouds my mind. And most of all, I thank you for the reminder that God's love is constant, unshaken, and always greater than my need. These blessings are miracles in themselves, gifts that assure me I am never alone. I lift my thanks as a song of victory, believing that what I seek has already been given in heaven and will soon manifest on earth. Just as the seed planted in the soil already contains the promise of fruit, my prayer already contains the promise of an answer. And so, even before I see the harvest, I rejoice in the planting because I know the outcome is sure. With every word of gratitude, I water the seed of my miracle, trusting that it will grow and flourish in the perfect timing of God. Thanksgiving also humbles me, reminding me that every answered prayer is a gift, not something earned but something freely given out of love. I do not thank out of obligation but out of overflowing joy, because my heart knows it will soon hold in its hands the blessing it has longed for. My gratitude is a promise to remember, to never forget that in this time of urgency, Saint Anthony of Padua stood by me, prayed for me, and helped me see God's mercy revealed. With a heart lifted in praise, I declare, thank you for the miracle that is on its way. Thank you for the strength to endure until it arrives. Thank you for the faith that was born in the waiting. Thank you for the peace that filled me in the surrender. Thank you for the testimony that I will soon share with others to glorify God and to honor your holy intercession. Every thank you is a step closer to the moment when my lips will say with joy overflowing, it has come to pass. Saint Anthony, as I close this prayer of gratitude, let it echo in heaven as a hymn of trust. May my thanksgiving rise like incense before God, and may it please his heart to pour out blessings in abundance. I rest in this assurance, I live in this peace, and I rejoice in this gratitude because the miracle is already mine in faith. Amen.